If you earn a salary of 100K, don't buy a car worth 2 million Kenyan shilling. A car worth 2 million Kenyan shilling, that's equivalent to like almost 20,000 Kenyan shilling, or rather US dollars. Now, we were on a seminar with a group of experts, financial managers, and we can call them, the financially literate people who actually we call them the money coaches and something like that. And we had this discussion on a boardroom or in a meeting. And we actually did all the mathematics and we checked out all the numbers and we realized actually if you earn a salary of 100K in a month, 100K in a month, that's around $850, something like that, if you're watching from outside the country. Now, we realize that buying yourself a car worth 2 million might actually be a shot in your foot. Let me repeat. If you are 100K and below, I didn't say and above, and below, owning a car worth 2 million might actually shoot your foot. Let me explain kindly. Please, before you even start ranting on the comment section or let's talk. And by the way, if you're watching me for the first time, go ahead and make sure that you hit that subscription button because I upload this kind of videos each and every day. This is where I love to jog your mind and to try to discuss, okay? And of course, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment on the comment section. Let's get to the numbers here. Now, the car here, the budget is 2 million, okay? It's 2 million. 2 million here, I said it's around 20,000. 20,000 USD. Now, and you're earning a salary of $850. So the question is, why am I discouraging that? Or why did we discourage this? This is why. Let's take this a salary of 100,000, okay? 100K. Let's say this guy lives in anywhere in this country. Let's say probably you are living in Nairobi, okay? Now, I want us to be logical on these numbers. If you're earning 100K, how much would you pay for your rent? Let's just be logical. People who earn 100K, they usually, most of over 85%, most of them usually pay a rent of 18K all the way to 25K. I'll be surprised if I get somebody paying 30,000. I dare you, you can get somebody paying that. Let's be logical. Let's even say this person pays a rent of, let's say, at most 21K. 21K. That's what they pay for their rent. Good. Rent is 21,000. Then we go to the next utilities. The utilities, the water, the electricity, the Wi-Fi, Let's even be logical. Let's give them 5K, okay? 5K, that's what they pay. Now we go to other things, shopping, eating, whatever, groceries and what have you. Let's even say they spend equivalent to what they pay for their rent, 21,000. Let's say this is a family guy with a wife and 2 kids or something like that, okay? If you are single, lucky you are. And then let's do some other things. Probably this guy has an insurance for his health and whatever. Let's say insurance, they usually pay around, let's even talk of 3,500 or something like that. This guy, he has some family members who calls him or her, each and every month, 1, 2, 3. Let's say the black tax, this guy sets aside like 10K in a month. Okay, we are still continuing. And then on top of that, what have I not put it? Oh my goodness, not put it. What have I not put here? Something like transport. Transport, let's say this guy does not own a car and this guy wants to buy a car worth 2 million. Probably that's a Mazda Tenza or a Xela or whatever it is because it's a very good car, or maybe probably want to buy a Subaru. Now, what happens here? The guy pays a rent. Transport probably costs you 100 shilling in the morning, 100 shilling in the evening. That is 200 multiplied by 30 days, or let's say 24. Let's say approximately this guy sets aside around 6,000 for transport. Or let's say, let's be fair. Let's put 5,000 here because you don't work for the 2 days in a week. Let's put that amount of money there. Now, we've not put school fees. For God's sake, we've not put school fees. Let's say this guy pays a school fees of course, school fees you don't pay each and every month. School fees you pay each and every 3 months. But of course, you have to save that money monthly. Let's say this guy pays a school fees of around 38,000 or 30,000. That means that this guy has to save at least 10K in a month. You put your 10K in a month here, okay? We've not even put anything to do with the savings so far. But if you are to do the calculation, this is 42,000, this is 47,000, this is 57,000, this is plus 10, this is 67,000, this is 72,000, that's around 70-something thousand, all the way to 80. Let's talk, this guy, so far, all these budgets coughs down something like 82,000, okay? That is 82,000. You're left with 18K. When you're left with 18K, let's now save, because the life is not about eating and whatever. We have to do what? We have to save and invest. Let's say this guy probably has the ability to even save the entire 18,000 in a month. Now, This guy want to buy a car worth 2 million. Tell me how long will it take for him to accumulate the 18,000 until he reaches a target of 2 million? It will cost you like forever. Would I mind if I multiply that numbers? It will actually cost you quite a lot. Let's even say it's 20,000 to make it simpler. 20,000 per month. 20,000 per month in a period of 1 year, it's 240,000. Assuming this guy is very decent in terms of saving. 1 year, 240,000. Second year, 480,000. Those are 2 years, 480,000. So for 4 years is around 960,000. This guy, for him to save 2 million, probably we are speaking about the 8th year, 9th year or something like that, for him to get this amount of money. That's why most of them, they end up taking a loan or a car financing for them to buy this. Let's even not go the car financing way or taking a loan to buy that particular car. Let's even say this guy miraculously there was a parcel of land that he was left with by his grandfather or grandmother, or miraculously, he just got the 2 million with him, and voila, here is 2 million, and he can manage to buy a car. Miraculously. So the guy buys a car worth 2 million. Now, let's zoom in into the expenses a car comes with. Because this is a family guy with 2 kids, and of course, living in a quite of a good area, in a certain apartment. And of course, his or her peers, they have cars and something like that. And of course, he goes to buy a car worth 2 million with a very nice aesthetics and something like that. So the guy buys a car miraculously, there is no debt, there is no loan, and it's good the car is parking there. Let's now zoom in to the expenses of this particular car, because this guy will be using this car to go to that particular job each and every evening, and this is a city guy. Now, the point here is, for those who have cars, on a very serious note, tell me, how much will it require to maintain a car worth 2,000? Because a 2 million. 2 million car, probably you can get an 18cc, okay, or 1.8 liter, or let's say you get a 1.5 liter or something like that. Now, the question is this: how much would you put for the fueling? How much would you put for the licensing? Because if you go ahead and pay for your comprehensive license here, or rather, not license, but per se insurance, that means you pay probably, what is 4.5 million of 4.5% of 2 million? Talk of 7-ish million, 7-ish K, 8-ish K there. That is what you pay per year. Then take that 70,000 per year, divide that by 12, so that you see how much you're supposed to set aside for the sake of that car, for the sake of having what we call a comprehensive insurance. Good, put that figure aside. Then fueling. Fueling that car probably will cover down around 15K to 20K. But let's say you are conservative, you don't even go for road trips on weekends and what have you. Let's say you consume around 15K. Already we are off the numbers, aren't we? And we've assumed this car does not have any breakouts, or just a normal services. After 5,000 kilometers, you go do your filter. I know the oil filter changes, the air filters, then oil and what have you. Probably that would go for like 5,000. That is after 10,000 kilometers. Probably that's a year or something, or whatever the period it is. The fact remains, by virtue of you having that car, if you're earning 100,000 and this is how you use your numbers, if I give you a car, probably you will struggle to maintain this car. And that's why you find, if you go to an apartment, you find there is a car parked there. That car does not go anywhere. Probably that car moves only once in a week. That is on the weekend, or twice on the weekend. You find the weekdays, these guys, they catch the matatus or the public transport. Then that car is there, and things are not even working. Now, one thing that you're supposed to understand, and we've used an example of that guy paid for that car cash. Now, dare assume this guy bought this car on a loan. You know, most of the cars that you see on the highways, being driven by people, they are owned by banks, but they are paraded as the personal assets. It's the banks that own these properties, but they are paraded as the personal assets. If I tell you, sometimes you might feel like you're not doing good in life until you zoom in into the people's life and you ask them if they own that car, the lifestyle that they're actually showing you. You will be actually be shocked. And that's why I tell people, before you start comparing yourself with other people, please be very careful. Be sure that whatever you're comparing yourself with, or who you're comparing yourself with, you're getting the right figures. Because otherwise, some people are using some funny numbers or funny ways of being in this situation. You find some, I'm telling you, because when you guys were watching this video, you actually, crucify me on the comment section. But now when you go to a personal level, this is where now the reality starts to hit you. Wow, be like, wow, this is very true. This guy, what he's saying is actually very true. So you need to be very careful and cautious before you start committing your cash into buying these cars. And did I say that cars are bad? Some of you guys be like, okay, Joseph, you told us not to build a home. You told us not to buy cars. You told us not to do. So you wonder how it can play, because you are not understanding, because you are approaching my delivery here with emotions and not logical. I did not say having those things it's bad. And I can never say that. Personally, I'm a car enthusiast. I don't think maybe you love cars more than I do. I love cars a lot. But what we call having that car, the timing of to have that car, that is where the problem is. There is nothing wrong owning a car, by the way. It is the best thing you can ever have. And by the way, we are living in a life whereby cars are becoming necessity. It's no longer a comfort. It's actually a necessity. And it is true. It's a necessity. You can imagine you having a family with 3 kids and a wife, and there you are, struggling to go to the up country during Christmas, and you were catching up the public transport and what have you. A lot of inconveniences. But when you have the car, you'll just do it and go to your place. Totally 100% I agree. It's a good thing. But the timing of owning that car, that is where the problem is. And you know what? In most cases, not even in most cases, in all the cases, we say most people buy with emotions and justify their buying with logic. Please be very careful. And that's why you find, can you imagine, somehow in his mind, let's say even this guy can be able to save a lot. Let's say a guy does not even pay a house rent worth 21,000. Let's say the guy is so conservative. Let's say he's a single guy. He pays a house rent worth 15K. A certain nice, very good bed sitter somewhere. This guy, he pays that one. So he has saved like 6K here. Good, amazing. Let's say this guy does not use this amount of money for his spending. Let's say this guy even uses 10K per month as food. The guy has saved 11K. Amazing. So we are at 17,000. Let's go ahead and check out on the black tax and what have you. Probably this guy, because he's not married or he doesn't have much of responsibilities, more calls are coming in. Let's even say this guy comes from a good family and nobody asks him for the money. That's another 10K here. Let's even add, that is 27K saved, okay? Now, this is another 10K here. I don't know what was this, by the way. I didn't capture it down. Let's say even that money is actually saved, okay? The entire of it. Then that 7K is actually saved up there. And probably we find another 3K in between here. 5,000 cannot go for the utilities because this guy is alone. Let's say this guy is managed to save, even let's say 45,000. Let's say this guy can manage to save 45,000. Then 55,000 is used for his expenses. Now, with 45,000, let's say this guy dares to get this car off loan. Probably a car worth 2 million. They will ask you to put a deposit of around $1 million, or probably they usually recommend a half, which is $1 million or 850,000. In between there, you can negotiate. Okay. Now, let's say this guy needs to save around $1 million. Let's say he needs to save around 800K. How long will this guy take to save 800K? Okay. In a period of 10 months, this guy has 450,000. In a period of 20 months, this guy has 900,000. 20 months, that's like 1 year and 8 months. That guy reaches the 900 mark. He goes and buys this car, quote unquote. He gets a financing or a loan or whichever. Now, he has put down 900K. 900K, this guy has a debt of 1.1 million, and of course you top up a car worth 22 million. They'll probably ask you for like 15K each and every month as interest, and they'll say they give you like 3 years to pay this car. So it is 15K per month multiplied. I'm telling you, you realize that this guy probably they will be asked to pay 45,000 in a month for them to clear this car. Then all what I could have saved, it is gone. So that's why I'm telling you, if you are on a salary of 100K, owning a car worth 2 million, I'm telling you, unless maybe owning a car is your ultimate goal, is the ultimate thing that we came to look for on this earth, then you can go ahead and own it. But otherwise, based on the numbers, on the reality on the ground, you cannot afford to get that car at that particular point. I would even recommend if you can save 45,000 in a month, I would even recommend in a period of 10 months, you can even save that 450,000, or probably you can get like 600K. With 600K, you can get yourself a second-hand car. Very nice, good Honda Fit. Very nice, say, I don't know, Fielder or whatever. You can get something. That's for a fact. You can get yourself a good second-hand car, provided it's a well-maintained. I know you're about to tell me, but now you have to employ a mechanic and you believe you have. Sure, because of course this is a car that has been used for years and years, but the fact remains at least you don't have somebody's debt. Then you can be able to switch back immediately to start saving yourself some cash out there. So anyway, I know not everyone will understand this, and which is okay, and some of you may actually go ahead and crucify me on the comment section, but I hope you got my point out there. This is Good Joseph. Don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure that you leave a comment, and that is my number. You can pick it up there. And let's talk business. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.